Breaking news, we now know the name of a deadly crash victim in Franklin County. State police say 45-year-old Russell Boer died after he hit an embankment, drove over a cliff, then hit a tree before going into the Conacudgig Creek in Antrim Township around 1 Thursday afternoon. 82-year-old Suzanne Boer, who was also in the car, was taken to the hospital. People who were near the crash pulled both victims out of the water, and the vehicle was removed from the water by a crane. The 60-day clock to secure a final peace deal between the U.S. and Iran is ticking and hitting roadblocks. The conflict between Israel and the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah is causing a delay in planned talks for this weekend. Our Washington correspondent Rachel Hersheimer joins us from the White House with where things stand this morning.
Iran's insisting the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah must stop before talks can resume. Now, just yesterday, officials confirmed the two sides agreed to renew a ceasefire agreement, but overnight strikes are putting all of this into question. Now, the president still appears confident the deal will still hold.
It's 60 days. They have to make a deal. Otherwise, we will do things that won't make them happy. But I don't think it's going to get to that. I think it's going to be very good.
So far, there's been progress under this preliminary deal. The vice president announced the U.S. lifted its naval blockade on Iranian ports. The deal also promises to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Despite some advancements, Democrats and a number of Republicans are voicing concerns, particularly about this $300 billion development fund to rebuild Iran.
History demonstrates that giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is an exceptionally bad idea.
Some of the criticism of the MOU is valid, I think, but here's the way I look at it. Without the MOU being signed, there's no pathway to diplomacy to end the nuclear ambitions of Iran.
So how do Americans feel about this war? According to a new AP North poll, nearly 2/3 of Americans disapprove of the president's handling with Iran, including 28% of Republicans who are unhappy. At the White House, Rachel Hersheimer, WGAL News 8.
President Trump making plans to visit Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley next week. According to a social media post from Congressman Dan Muser, the president is set to visit and speak at the Mack Trucks plant in Lower Macungie Township. That visit is set for Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. It was only a couple of months ago, News 8 reported Immigration, Customs and Enforcement bought empty warehouses and property in Berks and Schuylkill counties to use as possible detention centers. And now it seems the agency wants to get rid of them. According to the New York Times, the two Pennsylvania properties in the Tremont and Hamburg areas are among the 7 facilities across the country that ICE is trying to sell or give away to other federal agencies. It's a big switch from the Trump administration's mass deportation signature initiative that was led under the previous Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. In a statement to News 8, when we asked about the Times report, the DHS says in part they're focused on removing illegal immigrants and they will continue to look at the best methods to do so. A controversy over Pride Night at a Major League Baseball game continues to grow. On June 12th, the San Francisco Giants players were given Pride Night caps with a rainbow design on the logo, but 3 players on the team protested by writing Bible verses on their hats or wearing a different hat altogether. They were cited by the MLB for violating their uniform policy. But now the Trump administration is getting involved. The DOJ announced they opened an investigation citing possible religious discrimination against those players. In a statement, they said in part the MLB violated the Civil Rights Act and, quote, burdened the rights of players with religious objections. This comes as the York Revolution returned to the field last night following a decision to forfeit a game on the team's scheduled Pride Night. The York Rev said several players refused to wear Pride Night jerseys for Thursday night's game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Last night's game opened with a Juneteenth celebration. We spoke to guests who attended Pride Night saying they were disappointed there was no game. However, that decision did not change the meaning of the celebration.
I support. If they don't support, it's okay. I feel like everybody has their own opinion, you know. It's all about your own belief.
Our coverage of the York Revolution's decision to cancel the Pride Night game continues on WGAL.com. There you can read the team's entire statement. Right now, York police are searching for a shooting suspect. One person was shot just after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon inside a home on Chestnut Street and Silk Avenue. There's been no arrests made, and police have not released any information about a suspect. York police say people who live in that area may notice an increased police presence as investigators process the scene and gather more information. An arson investigation in Dauphin County. The High Spire Police Department and Citizens Fire Company were called to Reservoir Park just after 7 last night. That's when they saw the flames coming from the boardwalk along the nature trail. They're now asking anyone who may have witnessed something suspicious to contact them. Looking to Lancaster County, the back of a home left charred and exposed and the windows blown out after a fire. That happened yesterday morning in Ephrata on Dawn Avenue near Academy Drive. A neighbor who first called in the fire says the timing couldn't be worse. A family was all set and ready to move in this weekend.
They were going to move in this weekend and they get the call, that their house is on fire. Of course, they're devastated and we feel really bad for them.
Thankfully, no one was hurt there. We are working to learn more details about what caused the fire. In Adams County, one person had to be flown to the hospital and multiple others taken by ambulance after this crash you see here involving an SUV and a motorcycle. This happened on Route 30 in Adams County just after 1 yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Flores Church Road in Biglerville.